Welcome to the Unpopular Playground podcast, where Jen, Lynn, and Debbie will help you navigate life's twists and turns and rock your world by the time you're 30.
Welcome to the Unpopular Playground. This is our next episode on financial literacy, which is income tracking. I'm Jen Lynn.
And I'm Debbie. Nice to have you guys with us today. I'm going to start off explaining a little bit about money tracking or income tracking. It's monitoring your income and expenses to understand your spending habits. It helps you set budgets and achieve financial goals using methods like Monarch and spreadsheets like Excel or Google Sheets, or even pen and paper if you're old school like me, and involving linking accounts, categorizing transactions, and regularly reviewing data to improve your financial health. And the key steps for money tracking: list your income, record every expense, categorizing spending, like you have one category for groceries, one for bills, one for subscriptions, setting limits and monitoring regularly to identify trends and cut costs. So to get started, you're going to determine your income, know your total take-home pay. And that's the key. Not what you make, but what you take home. Link your accounts and record expenses. Connect your bank and credit cards to an app or manually log every purchase, even the small ones like coffee. Categorize spending, such as groups expenses like housing, food, transportation, subscriptions, entertainment. Why don't I have money at the end? Oh, well, I'm spending $300 a month at Starbucks. Okay, we got to figure something to get rid of that. I had that happen to me. I mean, it wasn't a money problem, but I wanted to buy a new car. And I didn't want to be held to only being able to buy a car with like maybe 200 dollar payments a month. I wanted a nice car. So I sat down one day and I figured out, okay, how much do I spend a month on Starbucks? And it was like $350.
Oh my
And
God.
oh, yeah. Well, because I was going to work, I would get a cup, which was $9. That was almost an hour drive. Then right before I got into work, I'd get another cup. So now we're up to 18. Sometimes when I was out working, I might get another one. So now you're talking, that's $27. And then on my way home, so that was $36. So, I mean, it adds up. And
Yes,
things, and I never realized it because I made good money. So it was like, I wasn't saying, oh, I'm hurting for money. Yeah, make sure you build a budget. Set your spending limits for each category. So once you've itemized all the different areas, set a limit for how much you're going to spend on each item, each category, based on your income. And monitor it regularly. Review your spending weekly or monthly to see if you're on track, because you'd be surprised how off track you can get real fast. Adjust and review. Look for areas to cut costs and reassess your budget every few months. I'm just going to go over some of the key benefits of money tracking is clarity. See exactly where your money is going. Control. Prevent overspending and avoid debt. Big one. Goal achievement. Save for big purchases or investments and identify issues. Quickly spot problems and areas or unnecessary subscriptions. I have needs versus wants. This is a very, very important thing. And it's mostly for a lot of young people, because young people today, they see things their parents have and it's like, well, I want a new car. I want, this house. I want that. And it's like, no, we worked hard to get to the point where we earn enough money to have these things. So your needs are essential for survival and daily functioning, such as food, shelter, and basic health care. Your wants is unnecessary items that improve the quality of life, but aren't what's required, like dining out or luxury goods.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I have a lot of really cool things on needs versus wants in the next episode.
Yeah, me too. So I just wanted to
yeah.
touch on that to explain
Oh
what
yeah,
it
we
was.
definitely have to cover it. I just
Yeah.
want to make sure to let people know that we're not done with that topic yet.
Oh, no.
We
No,
have
that's the next big topic.
plenty of examples on what needs versus wants, what that looks like. For my budgeting, a budget without tracking is a map without knowing your location. You may know your destination, but you won't know that you're on course if you don't know where you are at any given time. So just
Exactly.
think of income tracking like having a map and having a destination of where you want to be in the future. But your tracking is like your map. If you don't know where you are, you don't know where your money's going, you're never going to get to your destination. You're going to be wandering around in the desert. Many people underestimate their expenses, like Debbie was saying, prevent your budget creep because it's easy to overspend. So I had a lot of the same information, but I think what I have that's a little bit different is building intentionally.
Mhm.
You want to transition from impulse buying to intentional. One question you want to think about is, does this purchase align with where I want to be in the
Right.
future? And then, and you mentioned reducing your stress because when you're not living paycheck to paycheck and you're not wondering, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to pay this bill that's coming up, financially devastate you? Because if you don't pay your rent, you don't pay your car payment, those things can be taken away. And that's going to affect your quality of life like that because the world don't care. They want their money. And
Right.
if you don't pay it, they're going to shut you off or take it away. And
Exactly.
they're not going to care. And then relax. Tracking every penny is not going to be forever. Once you get good at it, you'll be able to you'll have those good habits and you'll know what to prioritize and how to readjust it. But
Right.
we're all starting out. So when you're starting out, just learning, you're going to want to track every penny for the next 1 to 2 years until you figure out how you want things to go. And then you'll be a
Exactly.
pro. Debbie, what do you have next?
Well, basically, for needs and wants, that's our next topic. And I have a lot of information on that one there that I think I'm going to save for our next discussion because it's so in depth. But
Do you have anything else for this one?
no, actually, I don't, because, like I said,
Okay.
everything with adjusting and reviewing and clarity and control, that's all part of it. And it's, to me, that's the key to tracking your money. The basic steps over time, like you say, it's going to get easy that you won't even have to think about it. You'll know, okay, this is in my budget.
Debbie,
And
you
it's
know what? I found a lot of cool apps that can help you with that to automate it all. I know you can chime in on these things. You touched on it before in the last episode
Mhm.
about prioritizing your money,
Right.
fixed essentials, rent, mortgage, utilities, car payment, insurance, your minimum debt payments. These are foundational. If you miss these things, your life falls apart. And then your variable necessities, what that looks like is groceries, gas, your public transit, if you take it, basic household items. These are necessary, but they're also flexible. If you don't do it, you're not going to die, but you're going to want to still budget in for those things. And
Yes.
these are where you track to spot your trends to avoid overspending. You want to make sure you're not spending too much on groceries or too much on gas. If you're spending a lot on gas, maybe you need to watch those trips that you're taking, those extra trips, so that you
Mhm.
can conserve on your gas. So it just depends on what your priorities are. You're definitely going to want to make sure to have enough gas to get to work. So
Absolutely.
that's what we're talking about on that discretionary spending. Debbie, I think you covered this quite well with the subscriptions, the coffee. I love that coffee example, dining out, shopping, that DoorDash. God forbid. I can't imagine spending $900 on. And
Yeah.
then this is where most budgets bleed out is the discretionary.
Of
Um,
course.
and you spend in this, then you don't have money for your fixed or your variable necessities. And then the next category is your savings, debt, payment beyond minimums so that you can get those extra high interest debt things paid off, your emergency fund, your retirement investments. You goals remain dreams if they're not tracked. Is a quote that I read, and
I
that makes
love it.
sense. Anything that is not measured will not make progress. And then your irregular and annual expenses, that would be like your car maintenance, gifts, holidays, memberships, your medical and dental, your predictable surprises. And this kind of tracking helps to plan for that monthly, include that in your budget. So when that $350 car registration comes out, that's what I pay $350 for my car
Oh,
registration.
God.
I paid $30 when I lived in Washington for my car registration.
Well,
Now it's
California,
it's ridiculous. How much do you
you
pay for
love
your registration?
my registration was,
Period.
I think it was maybe a little under 200
Oh,
for
nice.
my
That's
registration.
good.
And especially because, our cars are not like, 2024. Yeah, I mean, they're 2017s, and it's like you shouldn't be paying all that money for a registration.
2 more years, my car will be 10 years. It feels like I just got it. I should not be
I
paying
know.
$350 for a 10-year-old car. That's ridiculous. I can't imagine what they're paying for the new cars. That this is
Stop.
an old year.
Stop.
If you're all about staying curious and having fun, you're in the right place. Follow us here, the Unpopular Playground. Make sure to share this with your young adult and high school friends. Don't forget you can reach out to us direct on Insta at Unpopular Playground 1791 with your questions, or even just to say hi. Stay curious and see you next episode.